Hi, Vencore Weather meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday, November 11th. Happy Veterans Day to all. Warm weather continues here in the eastern part of the U.S., but Arctic cold has plunged all the way down through the central Rockies and northern Rockies into the state of Texas and eastward through the Great Lakes region right now. This is the latest temperature anomaly chart from the tropicaltidbits.com website, and this is using the GFS parallel run. That's an updated version of the GFS model that will become operational during the latter part of December. Again, the Arctic air has plunged southward. First, it will expand much farther to the south than it does to the east. We're still relatively mild here in the eastern part of the country. In fact, today should be the warmest day of the week with high temperatures here in the I-95 corridor at 60 or higher. This afternoon from D.C. all the way to New York City. It stays mild tomorrow, but the Arctic front slides through during the day tomorrow. Notice an increasing chilly breeze later in the day and especially tomorrow night here in the I-95 corridor out of the northwest, and that is the arrival of the Arctic air, much more noticeable on Thursday, with high temperatures on Thursday only in the 40s. Denver experienced some incredible temperature changes over the last 48 hours. They were in the 70s on Sunday. Right now, not far from 10 degrees, about 11 or 12 degrees or so. Some snow in the area. Below zero up across portions of Montana and Wyoming. Near zero out in the Dakotas. And they had some substantial snowfall across this portion of the country yesterday, with some serious snow accumulations right now in the upstate part of Wisconsin. So again, the Arctic plunge has arrived in the middle part of the country. Well, not only is that Arctic air moving slowly to the east, but it will stick around once it arrives. This is the temperature anomaly chart for Friday morning, again from tropicaltidbits.com. This, again, are the current conditions, the Arctic air across the Rockies and the Central Plains. This is by Friday morning all the way to the East Coast and the Gulf Coast below normal. And take a look at next Tuesday. This is the forecast for temperature anomalies for next Tuesday. Everywhere you see the blues and purples is below normal. Some of these areas, like in this region right here, are some 20 degrees Celsius below normal. So this will arrive in the east on Thursday, and looks like this cold pattern will lock in for a while, well into next week and probably even into Thanksgiving week. In fact, there are signs that this next week will produce an Arctic outbreak even colder than this initial outbreak. Well, exactly why will this cold pattern stick around for a while? Indeed, we talked about a powerful storm over the weekend over the Bering Strait, and that kind of set off a chain of events in the atmosphere to help pump up a massive ridge along the west coast of North America, in turn troughiness in the central and eastern U.S. And this is actually from the Penn State EWAL site, a 7 to 10 day forecast of the 500 millibar height anomaly. So we're talking a week to 10 days away, and this is the average of what the 500 millibar height anomalies will look like. And this explains exactly what's going on and why this cold pattern will lock in. All the red and orange areas up over here, over the North Pole and over eastward to Greenland, represents above normal or basically high pressure in the upper part of the atmosphere. This is a perfect example of a blocking situation where you have high pressure at the high latitudes, and that generally forces cold air this time of the year and during the winter months into the lower latitudes. And sure enough, we have a trough centered over the northeastern part of the country. And notice out here along the west coast, this massive ridge, even kind of a cutoff high here over the not far from the North Pole, the northwestern part of Canada. So a massive ridge here, a trough still over the northern Pacific, and a trough over the central and eastern U.S. with lots of blocking to the north will in turn keep this pattern in place for several days. And we have this initial Arctic outbreak this week. Another one comes early next week, and that one is likely to be even colder than this initial outbreak. And there are signs for perhaps one or even two storms coming out of the southern states towards the northeast into this cold air during the early and latter parts of next week. We'll monitor that possibility as the week progresses. Well, here's a look at the current surface map, and here's that Arctic frontal system this morning lying across the Midwest. And again, the Arctic air has already plunged way down from North Dakota to Texas out in the middle part of the country and spilled over into the Rockies. Denver, again, not far from 10 degrees right now, some snow in the air. They were in the 70s on Sunday. This frontal system will slide through the I-95 corridor during the day on Wednesday. Not exactly a noticeable frontal passage. It will not have a lot of precipitation, perhaps a completely dry frontal passage during the day on Wednesday. Later in the day, may notice an increasing chill to the breeze out of the northwest, and certainly tomorrow night temperatures will drop and the breeze tends to increase out of the northwest here in the I-95 corridor between D.C., Philly, and New York City. Temperatures tomorrow night dropping way down into the 30s. And on Thursday, high temperatures will generally hold in the 40s. And that cold pattern will stick around right through the weekend and through next week and perhaps even into Thanksgiving week. Well, let's take a look at a few forecast maps. This is from last night's Zero-Z GFS parallel run. Again, this is the updated of the GFS model that will become operational in just a few weeks. This is for Thursday morning. Again, from the tropicaltidbits.com website, we'll look at Thursday morning, then Friday morning, and Saturday morning at the surface. Well, by this time, you can kind of see a little bit of a frontal system right in this region. Indeed, Thursday's a day that the Arctic air really becomes noticeable here in the Mid-Atlantic region. A very strong high-pressure system, perhaps as high as 1050 millibars or so during the next 24 hours or so. Weakens a little bit by Thursday morning, but that's a very strong Arctic high-pressure system backing up this Arctic air outbreak. And again, the cold air seeps in on Thursday. High temperatures probably confined to the 40s up and down the I-95 corridor. And here's the forecast map for Friday morning. By this time, the cold air pretty much well established in the northeastern U.S. There is a low pressure area of a little bit of concern that could throw back enough moisture into the I-95 corridor to cause some snow shower activity Thursday night, early Friday. Does not look significant. The bigger story, frankly, will be the influx of Arctic air, because that will be well below normal temperatures. Not a significant precipitation event, but anything that falls Thursday night, early Friday could be in the form of snow. Once the Arctic air arrives, it looks like it'll stick around for a while. Let's now jump ahead to Saturday morning. And here's the forecast for Saturday morning from last night's GFS parallel run. Arctic high pressure now centered over the Midwest. A sunny day, most likely, at least partly to mostly sunny in the I-95 corridor, but very cold for this time of the year. Some 15 degrees, perhaps even more than that, below normal, with high temperatures probably in the low 40s, despite some sunshine on Saturday. And again, the cold pattern sticks around. Then after this, we'll start looking towards the southern states, the Gulf of Mexico. There certainly are signs that moisture will pull out of the southern states, perhaps not just once, but perhaps twice next week, the early part of the week, and then again later in the week. And of course, there will be lots of cold air around to the north and east, so we'll have to monitor that situation, those possibilities closely over the next several days. But still warm today, the warmest day of the week, and still on the mild side tomorrow. But the changes begin later in the day with an increasing chilly breeze out of the northwest, and certainly a noticeable change in temperatures here in the I-95 corridor on Thursday. Once that cold pattern sets up on Thursday, it looks like it sticks around for quite a while. That's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist